the average index is 11, the best performing funds are 24%. So I just want to ask you one question, ladies and gentlemen, that in a year where we've been busy selling gold and bond and this, that and the other, action to kahin aur ho raha hai. Action to equity mein chal raha hai, boss. And here we're busy selling everything else. So this entire discussion about what's good for the customer, what's good for the advisor, all that is, I completely agree to it. But there is one more lesson I've learned in life after being in the mutual fund industry. Whatever asset is selling, uska opposite hi karo. And whatever asset is redeeming, buy that. Your clients will make money. You can see that. I mean, these are just 1 year numbers. I'll show you some more numbers. I will show you some more numbers, but just very quickly, this is just stuff. This is Access Mutual Fund learning. We're now 4 years old. We don't consider ourselves new in the business, but we're like kind of 4 years old now. We learned this very early. We learned that mutual funds are the girlfriend I will not marry. This is what we learned very early. 4 years ago we learned this, because investors have not been looking to buy mutual funds. They don't look at us like marriage partner, girlfriend. And the reason for that is point number 3. Everyone now has come to the conclusion that investor wants absolute return. He doesn't care आपकी engine में कैसा क्या पुर्जा चलता है, उसको कोई मतलब नहीं है. आपने क्या खरीदा, ये फंड वो फंड, कोई मतलब नहीं रखता. He only wants absolute return. And if all of this is true, then the requirement of a customer is in this order. There is no denying that the Indian investor, and perhaps globally this is true, investors need this, which we all know, but what we end up giving the investor is actually this. And that is where the gap is. So what I just want to do over the next couple of slides is leave you with this one thought, that at the end of it, our jobs and your jobs is actually not about managing money. It all comes down to managing risk. And I will tell you why I said that. Managing risk ka matlab. Basically, if a fund falls less, if you just fall less, you will come out better on the other side. So as a fund house or as a fund management company or as distribution partners or as advisors, I think the job is not about asset management. It's now becoming more about risk management. And Hansi spoke about it yesterday. I picked up on 2 or 3 things she said, and there's just been so much discussion around it, around the tables. Asset allocation funds, hybrid funds, capital protection funds fall less. Investors hate volatility. They love predictability. Just fall less and you will look better. But what is happening on the equity side? On equity, I have taken the worst period, 2008 to 2013. Investors have made average 5%, average. In the worst phase, they made an average of 5%. I am, in my personal portfolio, 100% equity investor. My own portfolio, CAGR, even today, is 8%. I'm okay, chalega. On SIP, in the same period, it's 7.3%. Remember, these are average numbers. I'll show you something more. This is something which we figured out literally about, I think, a week ago. In SIP, if you had discontinued in 2011, you would have made negative 14. If you just continued with the SIP and done nothing, you would have made almost 9%. So, boss, kya bura hai equity mein? I'm questioning the very thought of an asset class that has been thrown out of the window. Why? It is delivering, and in the worst phase. And the last thing I just want to leave behind is that at the end of all of this, it all boils down to risk. So something that we are very passionately, concerned about is tracking risk. Our numbers on performance are looking, that's a separate matter. That we're looking good, that's a separate matter. But on risk, we look at that like a microscope. I mean, it's just every day. That's why all these parameters. The last thing on my slides, in summary, is that wealth is only created in crisis. If I'm an investor, I should be praying that मेरी जिंदगी में 4 crises आ जाएं, and that's when I'll create real wealth. And in these times, I think all of this set of kind of putting equity in some form or the other and not staying out of it is perhaps required. Last, I just want to end by saying that, gentlemen, become corporate athletes. And with that, thanks a lot. See you next year. Oh, okay. Okay.
Thank you, Karan. Hello. Thank you, Karan. I'm sure that video regarding the 4 flyers has inspired everybody, and I'm sure to become, yeah, you can think of it becoming a pilot as a pastime. I'll ask Mr. Bhavesha, our key core team member, to please present a memento to Karan. Can we have Bhavesh? Thank you, Karan. We'll quickly move forward to the next session. We are running around 50 minutes late. I'm sorry, but you have to wait for another hour for the lunch. The lunch will be at 2 o'clock. Let me first quickly get the next panel on the stage. The topic is new strategies for the mutual fund industry. Let me call on the moderator for the program, our sponsor, Mr. Udren Ray from editor Outlook Money. Mr. Udren Ray. Welcome, sir. Please. Yeah. Mr. Kailash Kulkarni, CBO, L&T Mutual Fund. Can we have Mr. Kailash? Mr. Amar Shah, Retail Sales Head, ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund. Welcome, Amar. Mr. D.P. Singh, ED and CMO, Domestic Business, SBI Asset Management Company. Mr. Singh. Welcome, Mr. Singh. Mr. Himanshu Vyapak, Deputy CEO, Reliance Asset Management Company. Welcome, Mr. Himanshu. Mr. Rajiv Maniyar, Head, New Initiatives, HDFC Asset Management Company. Welcome, Rajiv. Last but not the least, Mr. K.S. Rao, Birla Sun Life Asset Management Company. I'll put on the mic to the moderator, Mr. Udren Ray, and he can take it forward from there. Mr.
Yeah. Am I audible? I can be heard. I first wanted to thank Kanak and Bhavesh and all others for what is obviously a marvelous event here. We know a thing or two, all of us, about organizing events and how well this has been organized. I think maybe you've applauded them, maybe we can applaud them once again. When you have so many experienced and bright people on the dais, I'm quite sure that you wouldn't want me to be talking. I intend to not talk too much and just stick to moderating. It's also a challenge when you're standing between lunch and a crowd of, well, I think it looks like 300, 400, if not 550. So I thought that, what we could do in the interest of utilizing our time very quickly is take one or two themes, and after each theme, as our panelists quickly respond, we'll leave it open to the audience for the reactions or questions, and we'll keep alternating so that we don't, when we go to lunch, we are really, really hungry and we are looking forward to it. So there have been some wonderful sort of discussions earlier today, and that actually has made the job of this panel quite much easier. But I thought I'll start off by putting something right in front of the panel, which is that, as everybody's been mentioning, that investors don't like volatility, they want security. I also want to eat my cake, give it to my friends, have the cherry, which is one, and also give it to all my friends and neighbors. And if possible, keep a piece in the fridge so that I can have it tomorrow. But obviously these are sort of conflicting things, and this is coming on the backdrop of tremendous regulatory and other changes where the rule of the game has changed. Now, in this backdrop, how do you get people interested in mutual funds and get them to invest? Because the stats are pretty stark in our country. Still, most of our investors, as has been mentioned, are investing in fixed deposits. So are there things that, practical things, step one, step two, which we can quickly have from all the panelists? Maybe we can start with you. Specific steps.
Yeah, the first one, though this topic is about strategy, I feel, strategy would keep on evolving. What we were thinking in 2000, we were not thinking in 2008, and what we are thinking now, I'm sure, is too different from what we were thinking earlier. I think the core here is what you said, the step one. And mutual fund is an amazing proposition from an overall financial perspective because it starts from step one. And that is an alternative, it starts from an alternative to saving bank account. Unfortunately, as an industry, and we are all part of that, we have not taken the first step completely there. So I don't know. So as of now, when I see the data, out of 4.5 crore investors which are there, or folios which are there, less than 50 lakh of them are in fixed income in total, and I'm sure in liquid it will be further low. So we haven't even taken the first step with the people, and specifically the asset class you were comparing with, right? We have taught them all about alphas and betas and X and Y, but we haven't taken the first step. So, first thing is, start with the basic step in itself, and that is the right proposition. Obviously, we will evolve from a product to the solution space. A lot of you and a lot of the customers have evolved, but there is a huge amount